Hello, everyone. This is Ben from Broward Ben, and today we're going to talk about what I have coined as the domino deal. Basically, the domino deal is a deal that requires you to sell a property before you can buy another property. So, if you're a homeowner and you're looking to buy another property, but you've decided to sell your property, move into either another city, locally or another state. It's a very complicated transaction, and you need someone that has a lot of experience to make sure that the timing on both transactions is just so. So I wanted to discuss this today because I just had a triple domino transaction. Basically, what this means is I had the listing, and they wanted to buy a condo. So they're selling their house where they've lived in for a long time. The husband has passed, and the wife decided the property's too big and it's time to move on. And you might be wondering why I call it a domino deal. Well, just like dominoes lined up, these transactions are lined up. And if any one of them fall, they all fall. So we listed the property. We had several offers at the same time. And after looking at each of the offers, I chose or suggested an offer that actually had a buyer who also had to sell their property prior to them buying her property. So it was basically a triple domino deal. Now you might ask, why did I choose that? It's not always about the money. It's the highest and best is what we say in the real estate industry. It's just not who's got the top dollar offering, but who's got the highest and best. So in this particular case, although it was a financing deal, it was a substantial amount down. And after having a conversation with the other realtor to get an idea of where their contract was, I made a decision that it looked good to me as far as where they were in the deal. Conveyed that to the owner along with the other options, and she chose this one. So I'll start at the beginning. What are you going to do first when you get an offer when someone else is needing to sell their place in order to buy your place? So that's transaction number one in this basic triple deal. So you need to get a copy of the contract. We're not shy. I asked for a copy of the contract. I want to know where they are in this particular contract. Now, they had a financing purchaser, so I want to make sure that the inspection period is passed and the property has appraised. That's a minimum requirement. I'm looking for how much they have down so that I can see how strong that particular contract is. And then I got the information on the basically the client himself, how strong they were and what were the chances of them getting the finance deal. So it looked very strong. I talked to the mortgage broker on the other side. They said it's a solid deal. They have the cash to buy, but they're choosing not to. So that really made me feel comfortable. So then we went under contract under our property. So the seller of our property, the one I had listed, was very anxious to get out and look at other properties, but I really was very adamant that you can't go out too soon and start putting in an offer on another property when your property really, we haven't gotten past also the appraisals and inspections and other things. So it's really important that inspections and if it's financing, appraisals go to a certain point before you start looking for another property. So now she was looking for a condo, so that means she's also up against that 30-day maximum that a condo can take for association approval. In Florida, they can take 30 days max, but by the time you've got a contract, you write up a contract, you fill out a 20-page application, and you get things going, you've already lost at least a week, 10 days. So it's really could be a 30, 40-day project. So you timeline. So you really need to keep that in mind too. So anyway, we did get her property under contract, and as soon as we received the appraisal on her property and it passed, we pulled the trigger on going out and seeing other properties. Now, I already had sent her a search of other properties, so she was already seeing what was going on in the market and ready, and kind of had her choices already of properties she wanted to see. So it took about another 10 days till she finally felt comfortable to put in an offer on another property. Now, it's very important because she needed the money to buy the other property. So we had to do what's called a post occupancy. So I want her to be able to stay in the property, to be able to get the funds from the purchase of her property, know it's in the bank in order to feel comfortable to purchase the other property. So we got a 30-day post occupancy gratis. I was able to get that free. And then I did a per diem in the event that she had to stay over a little bit longer. We came up with an idea of what an average rent would be, and then we did a per diem so that she could stay if needed to, but with basically making sure that you're kind of pushing it so that they don't feel comfortable, even though it's my seller, they don't feel comfortable to stay 3 months, okay? So basically, showing that we were getting under contract made the buyer feel more comfortable. So, which really helped the entire transaction, because the seller of the property she wanted to buy also was a little hesitant on, having a contingency that was based on her selling her property. So it's really important that I can show them a contract like the previous buyers showed me a contract. I need to do the same thing for the new purchase, the sellers of the new purchase. So I was able to show them that it already passed inspection. I was able to show them that the appraisal came through. They're solid, letters from the mortgage broker, and so on. So they felt comfortable, and we went under contract with them. Now, this is not for the faint of heart or weak stomachs. This is an incredibly intense transaction. It's a triple transaction. Everything has to be timed perfectly and work perfectly. So this is not for new agents. If you have an agent that's kind of newish, I wouldn't recommend that they do this. This is a transaction that takes a lot of expertise and experience to get right. So anyway, make a long story short, we were able to close on our property. They closed, and we closed. The buyer closed on their property, and we closed on our property the same day. I timed it so that those two transactions would happen on the same day. So that worked out great. Then the clock started ticking, and we were able to get the approval on the new property from my seller, who became a buyer, was able to get the approval, move all her furniture, garage sale, do everything she needed to do, and move into the property, the new one, within 30 days. And that is what I call a domino deal. If you're in a position where you need to sell your property prior to buying a new property, please don't hesitate to call me. My name is Ben Garcia. I'm the broker owner, 23 years here in Broward County. I'm a native Floridian. I was born here. I know every square inch of Broward County. My website is browardben.com. So if you need some help, you can call me at 754-400-0480 or go to browardben.com. Whatever happens, good luck to you.